All right, back for another live video. Hopefully everything with this one goes today, because in the live streams we've had a couple hiccups. So looks like 8 people. This is a very last minute live video today. I have a couple, 3 plants in particular that I want to put on moss poles, and yeah, I received a package of THICCLY grow poles. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 different varieties that they sent me for free. So I wanted to put some of my plants on some moss poles today. So that's basically just today's live stream. So let me know down in the comments if you guys can hear me. Pennsylvania, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. So yeah, I just want to thank THICCLY for sending me these moss poles. And like I said, there's 2 different varieties. The first one I've tried before, and it has the, I guess, holes in the front, and you wrap around the back. So this forms that D-shaped moss pole, which I'll be using on, I believe, my Manjula Pothos. I have it set aside. And then they sent me their new Gen 3 or version 3 of their grow pole. And the way this one works is it actually straps or attaches or connects at the front, and it has again a solid backing. You don't clip it together at the back. And just from doing a little bit of research before this video, like literally 10 minutes before I started this live stream, the reason for the strapping in the front is when it comes to propagation, when you have to prop and chop, or if you want to cut the cutting in half, it's really easy to unhook the plastic from the front. You can open it up, take your cutting, and pull it out from the front, as opposed to trying to pull all the roots that have grown into the moss from these little honeycomb type things. So I'm looking forward to trying their new version 3 moss pole. Okay, got some people from Peru, from Holland, Switzerland. Oh my goodness. We can hear you well. Perfect. Poland. Wow. I know it is afternoon here in Canada. It's 1:15, I guess 18 after 1 right now. So yeah, I just wanted to get these 3 plants on the moss pole this afternoon, but I didn't want to do my typical style video just because I'm currently editing another video and I just don't feel like doing that today. So I have some other projects and chores and stuff that I got to get done before the kids get home from school. Hi from New York, Wisconsin. So yeah, everyone, welcome to today's live stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it. What is everybody up to today? I just did some errands this morning, did a little bit of house cleaning, and like I said, I'm currently editing a snake plant video, and I just have these 3 plants. So the Syngonium, Chiapense. This one's going on a moss pole. This one I've been growing upstairs just in my bedroom. These are 2 propagated cuttings from the mother plant, which has now been moved. I did have the mother plant growing in leca and water, and it didn't work out the way I wanted. So I did chop that one up completely, and I do have that propagating right now to make into more plants. But I've been growing these upstairs just in natural light for the last number of months, and I'm going to separate. Well, there's 2 cuttings in here, so I'm going to take this one out, and it's got some nice, I don't know if you can see it, it's got some nice aerial roots on the back. This is probably my favorite Syngonium out of all of them, and I do have the frosted heart variety as well, but this one's beautiful. It's just a very simple heart-shaped leaf. It actually looks like a philodendron. Argentina, Tulsa, New Zealand. Good morning from New Zealand. Good morning. Is the Syngonium a fast grower? This one, I'd say yes. I've had some struggles recently with some other Syngoniums, specifically the Albo, the variegated one. I had a very small cutting for, like, honestly, 2 years, and it basically put out like 3 or 4 leaves. So I just couldn't figure it out. So yeah, I'm not going to say much else, and it's no longer with me. But I will forever grow this Chiapense, and I want it to grow I was trying it on a plank here, so I've been wanting to grow it up and get larger leaves, but I'm going to try the moss pole as the water and leca didn't work. I do have a Manjula Pothos. Here's my little perlite prop bin. I have a bunch of Philodendron splendids in here, and I tossed in a Manjula Pothos. So not the greatest or largest roots, but I think it'll be okay when I put it on a moss pole, and hopefully it doesn't die. So I have the Chiapense, I have the Manjula, and then this is my Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma, which has been growing upstairs, just off to the side of my south-facing window, up against my TV wall, and it actually latched onto the drywall with its aerial roots, not these ones, but this was the top cutting, and I didn't even know, but the Tetraspermas can get these secondary fenestrations. So it's actually got some holes in it. So I quickly chopped the top off, and I've been propagating it in water. So I'm going to stick these roots on the moss pole, and hopefully it takes. So this will be the back. So these leaves are facing this way. So I'm going to kind of straighten out the leaves like that. And then these roots will be, I'm going to put this one in soil, I think. And then I'm going to put the thicker ones onto the moss pole. So that is today's moss pole plants. And then here are a couple ZZ plant cuttings from my large plant upstairs. These two cuttings are from my kid's chair incident. The kitchen chair fell over and it broke like 3 or 4 branches on there. So yeah, this has been in water for weeks and nothing. This is why I don't propagate a ZZ plant. It takes literally forever. Patricia says her pink princess is moss pole and lost 4 leaves. They just yellowed. I do have a new leaf, so I'm hoping I did not kill her. Yeah, I like when pink princesses first came out, and I think I spent when they were like $50. I struggled with that one as well, and again, I don't have it anymore. But it didn't grow like I expected it to. Another one from Denmark, or Danmark, it says. Hi there, Patty from California. Do you grow any pothos up moss poles? I can really... I don't want to say I'm abandoning the wood plank just because I am in a competition with TechPlant. If you haven't seen that video, yeah, I'll explain it in a second. But I did have a bit of an issue when I was growing my pothos up a plank. They did fantastic on the plank. They grew larger leaves. In fact, I'll show you some of my examples here in a second. But once it reached the top, I tried to air layer a portion of the stem, and it really didn't do good. So when I chopped the top off, I put it in soil. Basically, the plant died. Where's my cutting? So this is one of my larger ones that I cut off, and I don't know if I'm going to get it out, but where's the biggest leaf? Like, this is it's a giant leaf. So I was really upset that it didn't take in the soil. So I basically pulled it out of the soil and I stuck it in water, and I'm trying to save this one, but I guess I'm kind of getting off point here. I'll see if I can get this one in frame. So this is my Hawaiian pothos. And at the top here, it goes from the plank to a moss pole. So I'm hoping that it'll make a nice transition into the moss. I can just cut the stem, take the moss pole off, and put it in its own pot at some point. So yeah, I am transitioning like this pothos from the wood plank to the moss pole. So that's kind of the little mock setup that I have right now. But yeah, I want to get as large of leaves as I possibly can on this pothos. And I do have a couple other ones. I'm doing the same thing with my marble queen. Let's see if I can grab this one here quick as well. This one started to go off course a little bit. So here's my marble queen. This one is beautiful, but started to get a little wonky up here. So it has almost like an S-shaped stem. So I'm hoping that it latches or grows into the moss here, and then I can continue to get these beautifully variegated leaves. Like, look at this one. This one's crazy. So yeah, I am going to be growing them on a moss pole. Okay, I wish I could pan my camera over here just so you guys can see. I literally have to crawl through all these plants here. Somebody from Hungary, only work with regular moss poles. Okay, just a quick question. Did you guys see the video that me and TechPlant did with our competition? Let me know down in the comments if you're following that series. So basically what we're doing is in early November here, we took cuttings at the same time. And the plan is we're going to have a friendly competition to see who can grow the largest Pothos leaf on a wood plank in a year's time. And we're going to be doing our own individual videos, and we'll be releasing them the same day at the same time so that you can go see his video, come back and see mine, and you can see the progress of both plants. Now, the kind of interesting thing is other than just, you know, little chit chats with him here or there on Instagram, I really have no idea how his plant is doing. And I won't find out until he releases his video. So that's kind of the fun thing, having this little competition. So it will go for 1 year, and I hope you guys follow along and enjoy that little series. I will say I'm a little nervous right now with my cutting. So stay tuned for some updates. Hawaiian Pothos to put on a plank with you. Perfect. The Hawaiian Pothos is beautiful. I know it's, well, the golden pothos is a very common plant, but it's beautiful. Once you can get larger leaves, or if you see them in tropical locations and stuff like that, they're beautiful. Just something so simple about just a green and yellow variegation is just something really nice. I like it. Show us the Pothos competition progress. Whew, that's I don't know if I should release that information. TechPlant might be watching this at some point. So David said that. Do you want to see the cutting? I'm asking David. Do you want to see the cutting? Oh, I sent a message saying I'm pretty much going into panic mode right now. Don't do it. Okay, so maybe I know you can start like a little poll on here. Let's see if I can start a poll. Start a poll. I'm just typing something here. Should I show the Pothos update? And then you guys can vote. Okay. I put the poll up there. Just select which one you guys should do. I'll follow the poll here. I've never done anything like this before, so I'll check back in a couple minutes, and whatever the poll says, I will do. So far, 20 votes, and holy smokes, 45 people. Good afternoon. It always takes me a little bit to get to all my projects. I just like going through the chat and seeing where you guys are from and what you guys are up to and all that kind of stuff. So far, 61% of you are saying yes to seeing. Stay true to the competition. Oh, I can give little hints. There's no like written contract saying I can't give, just tiny little hints. What are tips to avoid all the water running down to the pot when you're watering moss poles? It's tough to show, but as many of you know that follow my channel, I actually have a garden hose in my basement. So I run the hose from my laundry room all the way to my bathroom over here. And what I've been doing recently is I've actually just been like tilting the moss pole against the back of the shower, just so all the water doesn't run down into the pot. It's going to obviously run down from the moss into the pot. So I've been spraying the moss pole just while it's leaned up against the shower, so that the majority of the water will just hit the moss. Whatever kind of drains from the moss pole into the pot is unavoidable, but at least I'm not spraying the moss pole in the pot. I find most times that when, in my conditions specifically, when I'm watering the moss pole, usually the soil is pretty dry as well. So I kind of water at the same time. But I guess if you want the consistency, again, I'm not a moss pole expert by any means, but if you want the consistency, maybe just place your plant in a smaller pot, just so there's not as much soil, and it just doesn't stay wet for as long. So far 30 votes, and we're 60% saying yes, they want to see the cutting, and 40% saying no. From Massachusetts. Okay, so I think the first plant I'm going to work on is my Manjula Pothos. I'm just going to get these ones out of the way here first. I forgot my little glass of water. I probably just lick my lips. I guess if I get really thirsty, whoops, I can take a little sip of that. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm using their regular Heather says she'd like to see the cutting, but I kind of feel like you don't want to give anything away. I'm okay with showing it. Okay, so here is their regular style moss pole, and it's just got the holes in the front there, and then you connect the back. You basically snap into the back pieces. Jessica says, love your channel. Been watching for at least 2 years now. Thank you for the support, Jessica. I appreciate it. I thank all of you guys. Like, thinking back right to the start, I never thought that 100 people would follow my channel, and I think I'm coming up on like 76,000 subscribers, and yeah, like tons of viewers, all that kind of stuff. So I can't thank you guys enough for following and supporting my channel. I didn't think anyone would ever follow my stuff. So I'm going to first start with just putting moss in here. So this is their small 2.0, and I'm just using I believe this is like a 4-inch terracotta pot. It's just crusty. Didn't even clean it, didn't wash it out, nothing. Okay, so all I'm doing is just kind of the burrito style, just putting in the meat. I'm going to leave a little space at the bottom. Where's the top portion here? It goes like this. So the nice thing about these poles is that you can add extension pieces quite easily, and they have little tabs at the top where they can snap into each other. Trial and error and share. Heather says she really loves my green space and my realness. Thank you. Again, I appreciate all the support. Did you happen to see the installation of the new shelf here, the plant shelf? I used to have that big Birds of Paradise, and it was, yeah, just, in between my table and my wall here. But I've always wanted to put some sort of shelf or stand or something, or hanging pots. So I picked up another shelf here. I just made that video on, I think, Monday. And so that video you can go see if you're interested in all the plants that I put on that shelf. Rhonda says, how did you get started with plants? Basically, I don't know what started the, I guess, obsession, you can call it, with many houseplants, but it all started with this jade plant right here. I find in talking to most people, like when they ask questions, usually they, like their cutting or their plant has been given to them by a very close family member or a friend. So they're usually very meaningful. I don't want to say like spiritual, but these plants I find hold a lot of meaning. And this one does for me as well. Basically what started, I guess, my plant hobby is my grandfather. He had a jade plant, a large one too. So every time I look at this plant, I always think of him. So that's kind of what started, I guess, learning about plants. Is I wanted to learn about this one specifically. And yeah, I've had this one right here, I think is, I'm just trying to remember. It's probably about, well, I know at least 15 years old. And this one has been propagated probably hundreds of times. I've learned from it. I've chopped it up. Yeah, it's gone through many repots. So it's a very special plant. And if I had to grab any of my plants for whatever reason, if I could only grab one, that would be it. Don't you have any airflow in your basement? I do. Who said that? Bo. I do have an oscillating fan just over here. So it kind of creates airflow to my wall, my plank wall, which is over here. And then kind of the breeze comes over to this way as well. So it is on. And we're getting good airflow. So that's the thing. I have my humidifier going. If you have humidity or a humidifier going, whoops, you need to have good airflow. And that not only helps with moisture issues. What is my humidity right now? Oh, it's brutal. 48% right now. And this humidifier has been going 24 hours a day for the last little while. It's obviously winter here. And in Saskatchewan, where I'm from, it gets really, really dry here. Jessica says, that's so nice. My mom left a few plants when she passed a few years ago. Yes, sorry for your loss. That I can't imagine that, losing a parent. But it's amazing. I think we all have that one plant where a family member have passed on or have given us a cutting or that sort of thing, and it's very special. So that's yeah, I think we all have those types of plants. Okay, so here's my moss pole. All the moss is in the pole like that. I left a little space at the bottom. I will be putting this just at the bottom of the pot like that. And now I have some plant Velcro. I'm a little more prepared today. So I have my little potting tray. I have a spoon. I have my little root rake. And of course, the pencil. So now I'm just going to size up this Manjula Pothos. And I made a mistake already. I should have put the cutting in the moss. So now how am I going to get that big root into the moss? Because I want it to be something like that. I might have to take maybe just a little bit of moss out of the pole here. And then I can put the big aerial root into the moss. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to, I don't know if you can see it, but using my pencil, this is the world's greatest plant tool. 39 votes want to see the Pothos Ape. What's your favorite plant? Aside from the jade plant, I'll show you here in a second. Okay, I'm gonna put this down. Oh, before I fall off my stool. This right here. This is the philodendron mayoi, but or the Tahiti. This was sold to me as the Tahiti, and I love that the younger leaves are like this. When they're very small, they're like a normal philodendron leaf. And with each new leaf, they get into this beautiful palm-like leaf. And it's actually getting a new one right here. And this thing is crazy when it unfurls because each little finger leaf type thing, it unravels. So this is my favorite plant right now. I do plan on propagating this at some point. And look at these roots in the back, just chunky. It's done so well on this moss pole. And look how thick the stem is. I don't know if I can get in there or not, but this is my favorite plant right now. If I could have like a house full of these, I definitely would. Now, again, without falling off my stool here. Okay, who asked that? Bo. Bo, what's your favorite plant? Do you have one right now? In Lima, Peru, I'm assuming, we can get, have 90% humidity. That's crazy. So yeah, obviously Canada's not known for their tropical conditions or our tropical conditions. And it's super dry where I am in Western Canada. Now on the East Coast, and if you're on the West Coast, like in BC, you can get pretty humid conditions there, but not where I am. It's a dry, cold winter. Did I get a new stool? I did. These are like old bar stools, and I just hacked the legs off, but I did have another spare one in my laundry room, and yesterday I went through to clean up some of the like old boxes and stuff, kind of just house cleaning stuff. And I had a stool that was unused, so I took it out to the garage and I hacked the leaves off. But what I think you're alluding to is the top of the seat secure? It is. It has 4 screws in there. The seat's not going to fall off. Okay, so what I like to do is add the cutting to the moss pole and then place it in the pot. So I'm going to just get some of this little plant Velcro stuff, and then I can re-add the moss into it. Joey, this is awesome having a houseplant live. Welcome to the live. There's nobody home except me and the dogs today. Kids are at school. It would be impossible to have a live stream with the kids in the house. Okay, I took way too much Velcro, but I'm just gonna double wrap it. Splendid, philodendron splendid. Great choice. Have you seen mine? Where's the big leaf? Right here. Here's the latest leaf, or the last leaf, but it's actually getting a new one right here. And it's actually outgrown the moss pole. So that is the next, I guess, video, is doing a trop and prop with the philodendron splendid. Do you have it in moss, or do you have it like in an aroid mix? Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat here as well. Is there something wrong with my comments? I feel like it's not getting seen. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can go back. If you asked a question, Lady Ha Gaming, then if you could type it again, I'll try and go back and see. So I apologize if I'm missing. Oh, there it is. I'm getting ready to repot my monster elbow and giving it a plank instead of a pole. Thanks to your channel. Thank you. Awesome. What kind of plank are you giving it? Like a pine, cedar? And again, I'm sorry for missing comments. Sometimes this chat feed goes a little bit too fast. So Christina, hi from Italy. Welcome to the live chat, everyone. 51 people this afternoon who had nothing else to do other than watch me. So thank you. Okay. I think that is good. I'm placing the aerial roots just in the middle. I don't know if you can see it or not. And then I'm going to re-add the moss. Pine plank. Thank you. Pine's good. I have a few pine planks. They're actually just little bed slats from my kids' bunk beds. I had a spare set out in the garage, and I think there was like 15 of these, I don't know, 3-4 foot long planks, and it actually worked out perfect. Now, some of the questions I get when people ask about using planks, and I do put them like right in the pot, is if they rot. And I've never had a plank rot, and I've been growing these, what is that? Oh, I thought that was a root. I've never had a plank like fall out rot or anything like that, or just fall over from it being rotten. So I have no issues with planks rotting, but you can use cedar. That's a very hardy board. I think it's, I don't know if it's rot resistant or not, but it will not rot in a pot. I feel like Dr. Seuss now, is rhyming. Do you own a global green pothos? They're probably my favorite. I did own one, and then it died. I tried to grow one on a plank as well, and it didn't do anything. Like it literally just existed. It didn't get any new growth points or anything like that. And every time I took it out of the pot to check the roots, there was no new root growth. Jessica says we have other stuff to do. We just don't want to do it. Fair enough. I completely understand. It's kind of what I'm doing right now too. I have some other house stuff that I got to get done. But I wanted to get these done first. Okay, so this is the cutting on the moss pole. And as it continues to grow, I shouldn't have to add another little Velcro thing. It should just grow into the moss. But if I have to, then I will. But this is one plant that I've wanted to grow into larger leaves for quite some time. So I'm just using the small little moss pole for right now. Okay. Now, so I don't make an absolute mess, I'm going to put a little bit of soil in the bottom of the moss pole. Just going to dump it in. I'm losing it on the floor here. Do you have a Micans on a pole? I don't. I actually don't even have a Micans right now. I had a big, beautiful one last year, and thrips got it. So I basically, what was it? My large Brazil, my Micans, and there was one other large plant, like this one right here. I had a Micans, not quite like this, but I did have a Brazil like this, and one other plant. I can't remember what it was. And I didn't want to throw it away, so I just put it on like Facebook Marketplace for free, saying that it had thrips, and I didn't want to treat it. And someone came and picked them all. They picked them all up. Stop rhyming. I really mean it. Does anyone want a peanut? That's awesome. I love my global green pothos that I took a bunch of the rooty cuttings. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe it just doesn't like soil. I haven't tried pon yet. So because this one came from my perlite prop box, it's been all nice and cozy in a high humidity, high moisture environment. So for the next week or so, I'm going to keep this one relatively damp, like in the soil, just so these roots don't dry out, because if it dries out, then this thing's a goner. I don't want it to dry out. Freya, is that how you say it? Freya? She's asking, or yeah, says your lipstick plant. Are you asking where it is? It's gone. Yeah, the lipstick plant, that I don't really know what happened. I have my suspicions. I don't know if I ever made a video on it or not. But the lipstick plant was probably one of my favorites, the Mona Lisa lipstick. It was right here where the Brazil is. It constantly flowered. Like it probably had like 20, 30, 40 flowers at a time. It was beautiful. I thought it maybe got some sort of like fungal infection or something like that. But what I think happened, and after doing a little bit of research, I take most of my plants over to my shower here, and I spray it off with my little garden hose, just as not only to clean the leaves, but as a pest prevention. If there's any, well, it's really not going to do anything for thrips long term, I guess, but you can blast them off, spider mites, that kind of stuff. What I think happened is maybe I took it outside. Actually, I think I took it outside to spray off. But anyways, from what I've read, lipstick plants, they don't, I don't know what I'm pointing to this. I just got my hand in the air, but I don't even have it. This is my Brazil. But from what I've read, the lipstick plants, they don't like any sort of cold water on the leaves or the roots. So I think that's what happened to the leaves, because it went from like a beautiful dark green leaf to like weird colors, yellow, reds. It didn't look healthy. It looked sick. So I kind of panicked because I thought it was maybe like a fungal issue or bacteria issue or something like that. So I didn't want it completely wiping out the rest of my plants if it was an unknown disease. And yeah, it had to go. Perfect pronunciation, I was saying. It had died to thrips. Again, whoops, I'm getting lost in the feed here. Okay, so I'm gonna run over after this live stream is done and give my Manjula, come on, focus, some water. And I'm gonna keep this one fairly well watered for the next little while. Okay, we have 52 votes. Should I show the Pothos update that I'm having with TechPlant? 71 say yes, 29% say no. I can show it. I'll show it here. So I'm going to end the poll, and I'm going to show it. And hopefully TechPlant doesn't watch. D says Vikings got thrips a while back too. She bought another one. Okay, my live feed here, my live chat is just flopping around. Happy to have no thrips. Yeah, thrips, brutal. The thing about thrips, if you haven't had them or you don't know much about them, you can treat them. I think systemics, like the bonide, I think that's how you say it, the granules, you mix it in the soil, water it, the roots uptake that insecticide, and then when these sap-sucking bugs like thrips suck the sap of the leaf, then they just die. But the problem is they lay eggs apparently in the leaf tissue. So even though you think you've eradicated them, they pop up when the conditions are right. I talked about mealies last time in one of my live streams. I had it, this was years ago, I had it on an Eglinema, and I saw one little mealy bug in it, but instead of taking it back to the store, I just right in the trash. Mandy, welcome to the live. Thrips suck, and the Meekins is freaking awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant for sure, but I've never seen a Micans on a moss bowl. Like, I don't know if they get huge leaves or not. With pon. Freya says, would love to see some videos of you experimenting with pon. The only reason why I haven't tried pond, okay, I forgot about this. We're getting an emergency test today. You can hear that. Okay, now that that's out of the way. The only reason why I haven't tried pond is that I've just never seen it in any local plant shops. I could probably order it on Amazon and give it a try, but we'll see. I definitely do want to try it, but honestly, I just forget about it until someone like yourself mentions it, and then I'm like, oh, I should probably try pond, and then I'll forget about it later. I'd love to try it. Oh, holy cow! I'm getting lost in the chat here. Tina says she's a big fan of semi-hydro. Tried pond, but needs a heck of a lot of rinsing to stop it. Blah, blah, blah. Causing rot. That makes sense. What is pond? The nice thing, I'm growing a couple or one monstera in water right now. Doing fantastic. It just got a new leaf. And that's the nice thing about that Dynagrow Foliage Pro. I think the name has changed. I can't remember. I think it's Super Thrive now. I think Super Thrive bought Dynagrow. But the nice thing about that is it has a hydroponic section, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. It has a hydroponic amount that you can use for plants that grow in water, and you can use it on plants that grow in soil. So it's a 2-in-1. They do size up. Heather says the Micans do size up on a pole. I've just never seen one, to be honest, that has had large leaves. Mel got the alert as well. They're testing out like our emergency alert system here in Saskatchewan today, and I know they said it'll go off about 2 o'clock. Jake the Plant Guy has an amazing mix pole. I'm assuming Micans. That guy's Instagram page is incredible. He has some beautiful plants on there. Leaves and White says, I don't think Micans really size up. I do have my green Micans on a pole. Like I said, I've never seen like a giant leaf. Not like these, like this Splendid here. Like this leaf is awesome. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to show my Pothos cutting. And then I'll get to these other 2 plants here right away. Okay, so without getting into too much. So the original cutting was in a large container with a bunch of other plants. There were some other philodendrons in there. And usually when I root Pothos in water, it should take about a week to 10 days, and you should start to see some roots popping through. Okay, so now as you can see, it is in a different container right now, and here is the cutting. Oh man, ridiculous. So I'm not even gonna say anything else. This is all you're gonna see. Okay, now I'm just gonna wait for the comments to populate here. There are some, oh, good Lord. Okay, so I just put this one. This is just another cutting just to help produce that rooting hormone. That one's got a root. Oh, good Lord. I probably put these in like 3 days ago. Little root right there. Okay, so Heather, I'd say you're winning. Oh my, brutal. It looks like it's maybe starting to get a little growth point. I don't know what this is, just a little random piece. But there you have it, folks. Never in my life have I had an issue with that. So, okay. Now, that's the update. There really is no update. So, It's still on the heat mat, still getting good light. So I'm hoping, oh good, that we get some roots here soon. Because so far it's not doing good. Okay, now the next moss pole is I'm going to try the strap one. And I wanted to put my Chiapense, I think, on this one. So I tried to do a little bit of research, like I said, before I made this video. And like I said, at the start of this video, the one thing about this pole that is different is it actually attaches in the front as opposed to it separates in the back. And the reason for this is if you want to propagate it, you can just take these little straps off and then make the cut and then just pull the entire moss thing out to put it in a new one. Mandy says plants equal patience. That's why I'm not panicking right now. I'm just letting it do its thing. If we don't have any roots in the next week, then I'm going to panic. Yeah, out of 10 pothos cuttings, there's always a slow one. That, folks, is the slow one, and I'm not happy with it. I'm just trying to tell myself that it's developing strong roots so that once I get it onto the plank, it's just gonna take off and we're gonna excel. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked again. I just gave this Syngonium some water yesterday. I'm going to be keeping this smaller one in there, but I'm going to take the larger one out here. So beautiful roots. Now I'm just going to try and separate them. I tend to let this one get a little bit drier than I should, but I gave it a good soaking yesterday. Tina says she has 2 Monstera Peru cuttings that don't want to root. I put a Pothos cutting in place the whole jar in the heated propagator. Yeah. Just trying to remember. I don't have a Monstera Peru anymore, but I think that one I did have some issues with rooting as well. Some other plants that have not done well for me in water are basically all Scindapsus. The Jade Scindapsus, I know it takes a little bit longer for the varieties like the Exotica and all those ones, but what I would recommend if you're having any problems with plants rooting in water is put them in a perlite prop box. Kim's starting a little chant. Everybody on 3, grow, grow, grow. Okay, beautiful roots on this one. Now I did set aside a pot. I think it's over here. So I'm not too familiar with setting this one up. On their Instagram page, I know they did fold all the tabs up. Everyone's saying grow, grow, grow. Thank you. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully we're now at the turning point and it'll grow roots. I did go over to THICCLY's Instagram page and they did assemble the pole first, but they were using an aeroid mix. So just like a nice chunky mix, and then they just dumped it into the pole. I'm still going to be doing the burrito method with this one. So I'm just going to add the moss in, but I'm just going to go grab my pot here first. Oh, dump something. Oh, my perlite prop box. I dumped it over. This I kicked. Whoops. I wish you guys could see just the very little narrow aisle that I have in between my plant workshop table here. Okay, so whoops. Okay. I'm just reading Bo's comment here. I'll get back to it here in a second, but I'm just trying to, I'm going to go back up in the feed here just so I can keep up. Monstera Peru are horrible to root. Yep. Leaves in White says there took 5 months. We got a lot of grows. For those that are struggling with the Monstera Peru, I would try a perlite prop box, honestly. I was having such a hard time rooting the Scindapsus jade satin. As soon as I put it in a prop box, like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, you could see little roots popping through. So, ooh, I might need a bigger pot, and I don't even know if I have one. So this is a propagated plant, like I said, because here's the original node, and then a new growth point sprouted from there. I might need a new pot. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know if I have one. I don't want to put it in like something too large because it came from this pot. You know what? I'm going to keep it in this one. I'm going to make it work. But let's see. If I have to grab a bigger pot, that's fine. Okay, the top. The way I know that the top is because on the pole, either the side or on the back of this one, it says THICCLY. So I know that's the top. So I don't need an arrow or anything. Okay, I don't know how much to put in this one. And I don't need the whole pole filled up. Oh yeah, back to Bo's comment. Change the subject. What do your family say about your plant hobby? Sorry, almost just started following you. What does my family think? I have 2 kids, a wife, and 3 dogs. And kind of at the start, I was, they would say like, you have way too many plants and stuff. But now that YouTube, I don't want to say has taken off, but now that I have this channel, they're all very supportive. I actually got rid of, ooh, should I even say it? I got rid of my large Ficus elastica taniki. It was basically a staple of this channel. One of my plants upstairs, it was massive. So we're trying to downsize, well, I shouldn't say plants, but everything was just getting really crowded upstairs. So I actually got rid of that plant yesterday. I gave it to a plant friend of mine, and so it's in good hands. But I guess to answer your question, they're very supportive of my plants. It does get a little bit crowded. Like I just have a little work area downstairs here. The rest of the basement is like the kids' stuff, and we have our TV and couch and that sort of thing. But this area, it's designated my little plant workshop area. And I never had any intentions on actually growing plants down here. All I wanted was a table where I could just film YouTube videos. Just because in the summer, it's fine to do it outside. But in the winter, I thought of maybe making like a little workshop in my garage. But there's some days where it gets to like minus 25, minus 30 Celsius. And there's no heater in the garage. So obviously I would have installed a heater, but it was just too expensive. So I kind of made this little workshop table downstairs here. I bought this table used off of like Facebook Marketplace. I picked that up, and then it just kind of morphed into this little tropical setting downstairs. Oh, got a text message. Okay, so that actually went together really easy. And you can see, I don't know if you can see or not because it's clear, but it has little divots in each strap. That is just to accommodate as it grows up. Now, I've seen some people actually tuck the cutting inside one of these straps just so the stem comes in complete contact with the moss pole. So I may do that instead of adding the plant Velcro. I might just add one of those straps on the outside of the stem just to hold it nice and tight to the moss pole. So yeah, thanks for that question, Bo. Yeah, I think they'll still say like it's crowded down here, but this is kind of just my little area. It's almost like my little greenhouse. I wish I could add like a 3-season or 4-season sunroom to the back of my house, and then I could have like a workshop back there. But maybe someday when I make lots of money, which it's gonna be a long time. Glad my dogs are supportive. It's kind of funny because when Oscar was little, he was very curious about the plants, so he would kind of nibble at the leaves. So I had to move a lot of plants around, but where I had that big ficus plant, I did have some aglaonemas and some other like syngoniums and stuff. So it kind of made like a little tropical setting. And every time Pickles would go outside or she'd go through the kitchen, she'd kind of weave through the pots. It was almost like her own little tropical jungle. And then we had their dog bed just underneath it. So they seemed to like it. Someone's asking about my jade plants. What would you, Alexander, what would you like to know about jades? Anything specific that you would like to know? I have this jade downstairs, and then I have probably 4 upstairs. I have 3 regular jades, and I have 1 golem jade. Again, I don't know. I'm just pointing to the jade here, but the story behind my plants upstairs, or my jades upstairs, is I think it's probably about 5 years ago now. I took a cutting for myself, and then I let my kids, each of them, take their own cutting. And I've been growing those plants for the reason that if and when they move out, I have a plant to give them to take to their apartment or condo or whatever it is when they move out. They'll have I guess a little piece of my plant, and it kind of adds to that memory. Every time I look at this plant, like I mentioned earlier, I always think of my grandfather. So I hope to pass along something like that. So if there's anything specifically you'd like to know about jades, I grow them underneath artificial light as well as natural sunlight upstairs. My little cursor. I hope everything with the live stream is still going okay. Last 2 live streams, now my mouse isn't working. My last 2 live streams had some issues with audio and video, and I've kind of chalked that up to my laptop just being a literal piece of garbage. It's so old. So I think it's not like keeping up with the speed or whatever. I literally know nothing about computers. Not doing much. Do they need a lot of light? Jades need a lot of light. I have mine in my south-facing window, and they do really well under grow lights as well. They need at least 6 hours of bright light, and they can tolerate some direct sunlight. Just make sure that you acclimate it to that location. So if you have it in low light right now, just slowly, like every few days, just kind of push it to a high light and even direct sunlight. They need a lot of light. I'll definitely make an update with my jade plants. I'll have to show the ones upstairs. I've actually been losing quite a bit of leaves on all of them upstairs. So I'm not too sure if it's because they are really root bound. Like the soil is just rock hard. So I don't know if it's that, but also I've had some thrip issues, which I've never really seen thrips on jades or my succulents in particular, except I did have some thrips on a little brain cactus. So I guess they'll eat whatever they want, but I've never seen them on my jade plant. Every time that it needs water, I bring them downstairs here and blast off the leaves. Sorry, there's a bunch of new comments, and I'm trying to keep up here. So encouraging the kids to move out. Not for a few years. I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old, so they're here for a while. Bo says, "Are these live streams regular, like every week or something?" No, I've actually missed doing live streams, and the nice thing about doing like plant chores and that sort of thing on a live stream is afterwards I don't have to go edit the video, so I can just I can just, yeah, film it and then just upload it to YouTube. And the nice thing I like about live streams in particular is the interaction with you guys. I can read all your questions and comments, and it's just a fun way to interact during a video. This one, leaves in white, is that Scindapsus jade satin. This one right here is a syngonium. Even though it looks like a philodendron, this is the syngonium Chiapense. It is one of my favorite plants. It's just beautiful. Just want an update, nothing much, just want to see them. Perfect. I'll make an updated jade plant video. What about food for the jade? I know there's succulent specific fertilizers out there, but honestly, I just use my, I use that Dynagrow Foliage Pro for literally everything. Even my jades, cactus, all that kind of stuff. I do have succulent and cactus fertilizers, but oh, I don't know if I should get a bigger pot or not. I'm just going to see if I have a larger pot, but yeah, getting off topic again. Yeah, I have cactus and cactus and succulent fertilizer, but I just use the Dynagrow Foliage Pro. Now, I'm thinking about cutting this long root off. You know what? I'm going to do it. Done. I was going to get, oh, pardon me. I was going to get a larger pot, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to stuff those in, and then I'm going to use one of these straps. Okay, I'm going to use this one right here, and then I'm going to secure the cutting onto the moss bowl. So this is easy. Now, I don't want to put the leaves in. Actually, I don't know if it'll work on this one or not. Nope. It's gonna damage, like it's cutting into this portion right here, and I don't want to damage the stem, so I'm just going to use my little plant Velcro for now. I'm just going to size it up again. So the reason why I'm picking this as the backside is because there's some thicker aerial roots. If you turn it around, you can see there's not as many. The majority of the petiole is there as well, so I'm going to say that this is the back. Okay. Saw an old video yesterday, a greenhouse with jewel orchids. Do you still have it? I do. I'll pull it up here in a second. It's right here. It's super neglected. I don't really do much with it, and yeah, I'll show it here in a second. How can I make my jade get bigger and stronger? I just have a stem. Honestly, I don't know how long you've had that, Alexander, but if it's one stem, I would probably wait and let it grow for about a year or two. Oh, I think I cut that way too short. I did. Let it grow for about a year and a half. And if it starts to get a little bit droopy, you can just prop it up with like a support stake or something like that. And then after a year or a year and a half, you can chop the top off. You can cut the stem down to however you want. I'm assuming that you're maybe wanting to prune it into like a tree. So when you make the cut, that will promote branching. So you will get 2 branches from the node, and then when that branch gets, or when that node gets a branch, or the branch pops out, then you can snip that. So every time you make a prune, it gets 2 branches, and you can prune it into a tree-like structure. I do have some videos on how to do that, if you want to go check that out. But otherwise, I will definitely make an updated jade video. Heather says when her 18-year-old daughter moved out, she bought an inexpensive little greenhouse filled with plants in her room. She told me she approved of me replacing. That's nice. Freya, it's a crassula ovata jade plant. Do you grow any anthuriums? If so, can we see your favorite? I do. Oh, another text message. I do grow a bunch of anthuriums. And I do have a video on my anthurium cabinet. I do have a bunch in there right now, and probably my favorite, I'll go grab it. Oh, I'm just responding. I'll go grab it here in a second, but it is the Anthurium pterodactyl. The leaf shape is spectacular. I'm just going to add a little bit of soil at the bottom here. Mandy says, Jeff has the best jade videos to teach about jade pruning. Check his playlist called Succulents. I did modify my playlist selection there. I think I left the succulents one. I do plan on kind of revamping those lists. So I apologize if the succulent one is gone. I honestly can't remember right now if I deleted it or not. But that's the reason why I make these videos, is because I want you guys to enjoy, well, like jade plants in general, but I know a lot of people have questions about jade plants in particular. So hopefully I can provide a little bit of insight and information, as they do require quite different care compared to most other houseplants. And there are some myths about jade plants. One of them being that they don't like a lot of water, and that's not true at all. They like to be thoroughly watered. They just don't like to sit in soil for very long. So something that is very sandy, very chunky as well, but they do like a lot of water. $63 viewers in the room. We got 55 right now. Just had it half of the year. So yeah, just let it grow for another year or so. And after this live chat or live stream, feel free to send me a picture on my Instagram page, and then I can take a look at it for you as well, and maybe give you a little bit more advice and direction for that one. Okay, so again, this one I'm going to give some, actually I'm not going to give it water because I watered it yesterday, in the soil that it's in or was in is still sopping wet. So I don't want to soak this one again. I might water it in the next day or so, but the moss is damp. So I'm going to let this one dry out. So I'll set this one aside. And then the last one I have here is my beautiful Tetrasperma with secondary fenestrations, these holes. So this cutting, yeah, I don't want anything to happen to it. And just because it's been propagating in water, I'm going to have to keep the soil like damp, like wet, for probably about a week or so. Patricia says, yes, watch his old videos. They are great. Some of them, like my earlier ones, I don't want to keep on the channel, but I delete, or I basically unlist some videos that aren't relevant anymore. I know there's some things that I've done in the past that I typically, or I wouldn't recommend anymore. I'm just trying to think of some examples. Oh, I got to put this guy back in the pot. I used to say like to use peroxide when you water your plants, but in learning some stuff from Ashley from Gardening in Canada, she had mentioned things like that not only kills off the bad components of soil, but also your good stuff too, like your bacteria and was it the micro something or another. So you don't want to kill the good stuff, the healthy soil. Okay, so that guy's potted back up again. In what year did you start pruning your jade? This one, like this large one, I didn't like ever prune it. And this one is different from my upstairs ones. My upstairs, they're all pruned into a tree-like structure. So each time that you make a prune, it produces branches, but that also helps thicken the branches as well as the main stem. So if you want to get a thicker stem, pruning is good for that as well. This plant down here is multiple stems, so it's more of like a bush style. And years ago, I didn't prune it at all. And basically just from the weight of the leaves and the stems, it just kind of drooped over like a bad haircut. And I did do a hard prune on it. So I basically cut it all back. The stems actually straightened out again by themselves. And then I've just been letting it grow for the last little while. I've been snipping off the tops, and it's really liked this Sansi Grow Light. Some of the leaves at the top here, they're getting that sun stressing, so the little bit of red edges, and it's doing really well. I just took it to the shower the other day, sprayed it off, and I just soaked the soil. The leaves were a little bit flimsy, so if you don't know how to water a jade plant, you shouldn't be able to bend or fold the leaves. If you do, like if they can fold them, I call it the taco test. If you can fold it and the soil is like bone dry, then that's how you know it needs to be watered. D says, if you were a plant, which one would you want to be? What plant would I want to be? Probably some sort of carnivorous plant, like a pitcher plant or like a Venus flytrap. That'd be cool. Instead of just sitting there soaking up the sun. I'm just picturing myself as a leaf just sitting there. I'd rather be something that just catches bugs. I don't know. I've never been, that's a good question. I've never been asked if I was a plant. I think I'd want to be a carnivorous plant. I'm going to ask you the same question. If you were a plant, which one would you be? I'm going to grab now while you think about that, I'm going to give you a few seconds here. I'm going to go grab my other pot as well as my moss pole, which I have over here. So actually, that's a good question. I want everyone to think about that for a second. If you were a plant, which plant would you be? Are you the one that just soaks up the nice sun, or are you a carnivorous plant? Okay, I'm going to grab that pot and moss pole. I'm going to go back and watch this live stream again, and then I'm going to see myself pretending to be that leaf just taken in the sun, and it's going to look ridiculous. Ooh, Freya says a monstera. Good. You know what? I probably would be that as well. That's my number 2 choice. Okay, so now I have to think about how I'm going to do this one, just because I want these roots to be in the soil. This is the back. So I'm going to place strangler fig. Heather, you're too hard on yourself sometimes. I just joke around. I'm assuming you're meaning about me going back and looking at the video. I joke around all the time. I'm not serious. Squamiferum, that's a good choice. A raven zizi would be pretty cool. That's your favorite plant. Sweet. I love the raven zizi. I love how the new growth comes out green and then it just changes to black. Squamiferum. Why would you choose a squamiferum? Great choice. All fuzzy. Leaves and White says that I want to be a mature Burl Marks flame. I have a little one. I have that little guy. I can't wait till the leaves start to fenestrate. I often wonder how people manage to have all those hours a week for their plants. I work in healthcare and I work shift work. I've been in the health region for 23 years. Now, let me know if you want what I specifically do. So right now I'm on my set of 4 days off. I follow, or we have like a 5-5-4 rotation. So I go back for 5 days, and a couple days here, and then we're off for 5. So that's how I have time to make these videos and stuff. If I worked like a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job, there's no way I'd be able to make the type of content that I do for YouTube. We have an orchid. We have an alocasia black velvet. Be a succulent. Just sit in the sun all day. That's awesome. Actually, that'd be pretty nice. Just soaking up the sun. Clarinervium, good choice. Guessing a nurse. Midwife. No to both. That, a surgeon of some sort. Not a surgeon. I don't make surgeon money. I don't think I've ever said. Somebody got it right. I don't think I've ever said in any of my videos what I do. I am a paramedic. Administration. Insurance, nope. So, someone says male stripper. Nope. Jessica says she's an RN. I am an advanced care paramedic. In your experience, that tissue culture plants are slow growers? I don't think so. I've never had, like, honestly, I wouldn't be able to pick out, like walking by saying, oh, that's a tissue culture plant. I like my little Spirit of Sanctity there. It's doing well. I wouldn't say it's a slow grower. It's pushing out consistent leaves. See why tending to plants is in your nature. Yeah. I just love everything outdoors as well. We do lots of camping in the summer. I just love going for hikes and bike rides. I bought an e-bike last year. So I've been taking that to work when it's summertime. But I put a little like dog basket on the back. So when we go camping and stuff, I take my bike to do trails and stuff, and Pickles, she rides in the back with me. Do I bring my pencil along to my job? No. But there are some fans big fans of the channel from New York State that actually sent me a little care package last year sometime. And they sent some wonderful things. And one of them, or a couple of them, were these like plant pens. So it has like a kind of a soft outer casing, and all you have to do to replace the ink is just remove the ink cartridge and put a new one in. But I use that pen every single day, and it's awesome. Actually, I'm just gonna put this in the water just so it doesn't dry out. Yeah, they got me like a box of little souvenirs, I guess, little mementos, and they actually got my family some stuff as well, and the dogs. They got all the dogs some squeaky toys. They're now destroyed, obviously, but we don't have those squeaky toys anymore. But I thought that was awesome. They really wanted to send that stuff, and yeah, I use that pen every single day. And I think I've used I think I'm on to like my 3rd cartridge. Okay. Now, thanks to all the kind words in the comments. I really do appreciate it. Now, this is the last plant that I have to put on the moss bowl, but if there's any other questions you guys want to know, or if there's any other plant updates. Oh, I forgot about the anthurium. Someone asked about my favorite anthurium, and it's the pterodactyl. And you should see the last, or the newest leaf. Sorry, I'm just going into the cabinet. This thing's a beast. Like, it almost takes up an entire side of the cabinet right now. And it does have 2 inflorescences. So look at this thing. There's something about the shape of this leaf. Like, it has very prominent, almost pointy lobes. It's a funny word. It's like loaf. It makes me giggle. But anyways, look at this. Beautiful, beautiful leaf. If you could find a pterodactyl, it's a gorgeous plant. And it's getting a new inflorescence right here. But this one, it did have another inflorescence, but it has since died off. But look, I don't know if it's self-pollinated. I didn't do anything to it. I just kept it in the little greenhouse. I don't know if you can see it or not. And it must have pollinated because it looks like it's getting berries. I've never had an anthurium do this. So I just left it alone. And I think I'm going to get some little berries off that. Cooking with Rick says, what state do you live in? I'm actually coming to you live from Canada. I live in Saskatchewan. It is one of Canada's prairie provinces on the western side of the country. How's your new shelf doing? Wonderful. Someone, I can't remember if it was on Instagram or what, they had messaged, maybe it was in the comments of that shelf video, of them saying they had an El Chaco red that was a little bit fussy in regards to the roots. They have very fine roots. And in that video, I did a pretty aggressive root prune on it. And I did mention to that person that it looks like I'm losing one of the leaves. So I anticipated some yellowing of the leaves, but so far it's doing okay. The leaves haven't turned around. I'll show it here in a second. Cooking with Rick. You're Canadian. Yep, I am. Oh yeah, the jewel orchids. Who said that? Patricia. Forgot about the greenhouse with the jewel orchids. Thank you for reminding me. I'll grab that right now, and then I'll get to the moss poles. Back to the moss poles. So I have this pterodactyl just in my greenhouse cabinet. You know what? I almost don't even want to show this greenhouse because it's horribly underwatered, and you should see the glass. Like, it's disgusting. It needs to be cleaned. Oh, they're not doing good. The little top opens up, and I did lose a hinge, so hopefully this just doesn't fall off in the live. Oh yeah, not good. So yeah, there's some jewel orchids in there. I put a couple peperomia at the bottom to kind of grow into like a trailing plant, and then this thing over here is one of those I can't remember what their name is, but geo something. But this is filthy. I love this little greenhouse. This thing's awesome. For the bottom, I just used a little can of Flex Seal just to kind of water seal it, or waterproof it, I guess. So whenever I do water, it doesn't drip out the bottom onto my floor. So yeah, not the greatest looking plant right now. A boot. Cooking with Rick. I could tell you were Canadian when you say a boot. All right. What do you think of this moss pole, eh? It's not that bad. It just needs a good cleaning and a good watering. Okay, now I'm going to, I don't know if I should put that all the way down. I want to break those roots. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I don't know if I'm going to put the moss pole right at the bottom, just because I want those roots to stay wet. So maybe something like that. These roots, I don't want to dry out, otherwise it's a goner. I'm actually going to add moss. Do I add moss? Do I add moss at the bottom or do I put it in soil? What do I do? Clara, Cooking with Rick, do you mind if I give my channel a shout out? Absolutely. I'm always for supporting other channels. Hopefully it's about cooking. An update with the greenhouse. Yeah. I don't know if, I guess if people are interested, then I'll do an update with the greenhouse. Claire says, I missed the live vlog. I wanted to ask what happened to your lipstick plant that used to be in the basement behind you. Yeah, I actually talked about this earlier in the video. It got really discolored. I thought it was like a bacterial or a fungal infection with it. But what I think happened is I sprayed it with cold water. Apparently, lipstick plants don't like cold water to the roots or the leaves. So I think that's what happened. I just realized I'm on this live stream for an hour and 25 minutes now, and we have still 50 people. So thanks to you, to all you guys hanging around. I think I'm going to add soil into the bottom there. But first, I'm just going to add this little plant support, Velcro, chunky soil. Yeah, I'm going to use, I use the VeryPlants aeroid mix. So that's what I'll use. I'm going to add that into the bottom. As soon as this is done, I'm going to take these over to my shower, except the Chiapense. Oh, I don't know why I keep doing that. Just got to stuff it in there. This one, like I said, I'm going to keep like soaked for the next week or so. I'm just lightly putting soil in. Are you still alive? I'm still alive. Okay, now I'm just going to add, okay, all that soil just fell out. Oh, jeez. I'm assuming you guys like these live streams, but let me know what you think of them. If you want to see more of them, I love doing them. It's just I didn't know if it would work out today because my laptop here is so old. I didn't know if it would work or not. Yeah, I'm gonna dump it up like that. There, that's a little better. Right to the bottom, and then I'm just gonna add soil in. Looks like some soil fell out again, but there's not much I can do about that. This one I might have to add a little bit of a support stake at the at the back, just because I didn't want to plant it too deep. Yeah, literally all the soil fell out. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm going to take it out again. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to size this up again. Just make sure. Now, I thought about maybe cutting this little bottom nub off, but I don't want the end to get rotten. So I don't think I had this portion deep enough in the pot. Okay, so something like that. Now it's at the bottom. Now I can add soil in. Oh, that worked out better. Everyone loves the live stream. Thanks. I love doing these, like I said, just so I can interact with you guys, and you guys can ask questions or add in comments. And I like when if I miss a question or a comment, other people fill in and provide answers and stuff like that. So it's just a nice way to hang out. I got the thumbs up from, I don't know how to say that name. But thanks for watching the live streams. I really do appreciate it. Okay, that worked. There, that worked out. Okay, not too flimsy or floppy, but it should settle once I soak the soil here and pack it down a little bit more. So this plant I love, and I hope to get larger leaves on this Tetrasperma. I think it's so cool. Like it's the size of my hand, and the secondary fenestrations. Okay, so that's all I have to do. Hopefully these plants aren't in the way. But for those that are joining at the end here, I'm just going to put this over here before I dump that. I did add, over the last hour and 30 minutes, 3 plants onto moss poles. My Rhaphidophora Tetrasperma, my beautiful Syngonium Chiapense. I have a whole jar of propagated cuttings. And then my Manjula Pothos. It's looking droopy already. I'm going to have to give this one some water like right away. But otherwise, I think that is all that I have to get done for plant chores. So I'm just going to clean up my mess here, clean up the area, and get to the rest of my tasks and chores for the day. I'm just going to go through the rest of the comments here. More lives, please. It's fun. Had lunch while watching. Love the live stream. Thanks, everyone. Never knew they get secondary fenestrations. Dee said, never knew they could get secondary fenestration in school. I didn't know either. This one was growing up my drywall upstairs, and then I noticed one day it had those holes in it, so I was super excited. Do you ever have pest problems? Absolutely. And anyone that tells you they don't have pest problems, they're a liar. I'll get these out of the way. I don't know where to put them. Everybody has houseplant pests, even though you don't necessarily see them. Like you don't have to have a huge infestation or anything like that. But if you have houseplants, you have houseplant pests. Now, the most common ones for me are spider mites and thrips. Thrips were, it sounds like, just brutal everywhere this year. I was growing some sunflowers just from seed outside, and I had a nice big juicy sunflower, and it was just covered in like, whoops, hundreds of thrips. Oh, my pencil. So even though like my houseplants are doing well, you just kind of manage houseplant pests. I really don't get upset with them anymore, or get really stressed out or anything like that. If you have houseplants, you're going to have pests. And like I said, if someone says they don't have pests, they're lying. They don't see them yet, or they don't notice them. So in the fall, my daughter went around and collected a bunch of ladybugs, and we had them upstairs and downstairs. So I've been finding like dead ladybugs all over the place. But there's still a few. I can see it's pretty divided whether or not you should cut off variegated leaves. What's your opinion on that? Like the completely white variegated leaves? I'm assuming that's what you mean. The reason why you cut back I've never really had a plant that has pushed out an all white leaf, but the point of that is to cut it back to a section where you're going to get green or the chlorophyll as well as the white in the leaf. Because if you have no chlorophyll or no green in the leaf and you continue to have white leaves, your plant's dead. There's just no way for it to continue to grow without chlorophyll. Heather says, thanks for doing the live. It was fun. Thanks for joining the live, everyone. I'm just reading a comment here. It says, I haven't seen any besides fungus gnats. And it depends, I guess, where you are as well. So I can only speak for where I am here in Saskatchewan, the Canadian prairies. Thrips specifically like hot and dry conditions. Now, you might not have thrips if you live in a tropical humid location. So that's just something that they don't like. If you live in hot, dry areas, then you're most likely going to have thrips. And I can only speak for, like I said, where I am in Canada. Sounds like they've been kind of all across Canada this year. But I've even heard of people having major thrip issues down in the States. But I can't speak for Europe or any tropical location. I just don't know what your region has for bugs. Sounds like fungus gnats are probably a worldwide issue. I definitely have fungus gnats since having plants on moss poles. So enjoyed the live chat. Nina, I wish I could understand and speak Spanish, because I would watch more of your videos. But if you speak Spanish, go check out her channel. I would love to learn Spanish. Oh, Matt from TechPlant is here. How long have you been watching? Have you been watching the whole time? He says he's got thrips too. They're everywhere. Yeah, it sounds like everybody has thrips. And whenever you see a post on like Reddit and stuff saying what's wrong with my leaf, you can clearly see thrip damage on most people's plants. Same with spider mites, mealybugs, thrips, aphids. One of my Hoyas, was it in the spring or in the winter, had aphids, little tiny little aphids. Honestly, aphids, I kind of find them cute. Like, they're just cute little bugs. Thrips, brutal. I think that's gonna be it for the live stream. I'm now into an hour and 36 minutes. This one, I have to go give water right away, because look at how droopy this is. I got to give it some water. So I think that's going to be it. I appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out this afternoon. So I got the 3 plants on the moss poles. I got done what I needed to get done, and I'm going to go do the rest of my chores for the day. So thanks for tuning in. And again, I'm glad you guys enjoy these live streams, and it sounds like this one worked out good this time. So I definitely have to upgrade to a new laptop just so I can, not have the hiccups we did last time. But TechPlant, I'll have to go back and watch. There's nothing to see in this live stream. It's just a waste of time. So yeah, just don't. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great afternoon, great morning, whatever it is. It sounds like a lot of people are in the morning. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in. Take care, everyone. My mouse isn't allowing me to hit the end stream button. So, all right, see ya. Bye.